Hi guys, welcome to my channel Talk Recapped. Let's start a movie review. The story begins with a man named Jack, who has just woken up from his sleep. As soon as he wakes up, he turns on his radio, but there is no sound coming from it. Jack assumes that the radio might be broken. Moving forward, he tries to call some of his friends, but to his surprise, his phone is also not working. Feeling uneasy, Jack quickly gets ready and leaves for his office. On his way, Jack stops at a gas station to refuel his car. However, upon entering the shop, he notices that no one is at the cash counter. He begins looking around, searching for someone, but then he notices smoke coming from the kitchen. Curious and concerned, Jack steps inside and sees that someone had left water boiling on the stove and had disappeared. Nearby, he notices a bathroom door locked from the inside. Assuming someone must be in there, he knocks, but when he finally forces the door open, it is completely empty. Confused, Jack decides to drive further, only to realize that not just this road but the entire area seems deserted. The eerie silence unsettles him, but he convinces himself that he might find someone at his office. As he drives further, he spots movement inside a house. Feeling hopeful, Jack stops his car and knocks on the door. However, no one answers. Frustrated, he breaks the glass and enters the house, only to find it completely empty. The kitchen faucet is leaking, so he turns off the water supply before leaving. Continuing toward his office, Jack notices a gas tanker parked in the middle of the road. He climbs inside and finds a walkie-talkie, hoping to contact someone, but he receives no response. Determined, he drives into the city, but to his horror, the entire city appears abandoned. Jack begins to panic, questioning if he is dreaming. The thought of everyone disappearing overnight seems impossible. Suddenly, Jack spots smoke rising in the distance. He races toward it, thinking someone must be there, but instead, he finds a crashed plane. Assuming there might be dead bodies inside, he carefully enters, only to find it completely empty as well. With fear and anxiety creeping in, Jack finally reaches his office. He was working on a major research project there, and to his surprise, all the machines are running properly. He tries to call someone but receives no response. Just then, a message appears on his monitor. Operation Flashlight is complete. Alarmed, Jack rushes through the building, looking for his colleagues, but he finds no one. When he enters the control room, he sees his boss sitting in a chair. However, upon touching him, Jack discovers that his boss is dead. Overwhelmed with fear, Jack runs out of the building, but the door is automatically locked behind him. Desperate, he grabs the recorder and states, "Today is July 500, and Operation Flashlight has failed, causing the disappearance of everyone in the world. I am the only one left." He places the recorder on the table, blows up the door using a bomb, and escapes. Jack then heads to a radio station and begins broadcasting messages. He shares his name, address, and pleads for any survivors to contact him. He also writes his address and phone number on walls throughout the city. Using a police car, he drives through the streets, announcing his presence and asking anyone alive to reach out. Days pass without any response, and Jack begins to lose hope. Feeling utterly alone, Jack starts living in luxury, moving into the biggest and most beautiful house in the city. He takes the most expensive car from a showroom and drives around, wearing designer clothes from a mall. For a while, this entertains him, but soon he grows bored and restless. His mental state begins to deteriorate. He starts dressing in women's clothes, giving speeches from the president's balcony, and even destroys stores using a truck. At one point, he storms into church and shoots at a statue of Jesus. Depressed and lonely, Jack contemplates suicide but eventually decides to enjoy life instead. He goes swimming in the ocean and returns home, determined to make a fresh start. One day, Jack hears noises in his house. He finds a woman pointing a gun at him. Overjoyed to finally see another human, Jack hugs her. She introduces herself as Jenny and explains that she woke up one morning to find everyone gone. She had been wandering the city until she saw Jack's address written on the walls and decided to find him. Exhausted, Jenny falls asleep, and Jack sits nearby, watching her before dozing off himself. The next morning, they head into the city, hoping to find more survivors, but their search yields nothing. One day, Jack reveals that his experiment involved creating wireless energy, which might have caused the disappearance of everyone. Jenny becomes scared and leaves. Despite this, over time, Jack and Jenny grow closer and start enjoying their lives together. One day, while Jack is out, he encounters a masked man in a truck. The man points a gun at Jack and demands answers. Jack lies, saying he is alone, but a voice from Jenny comes through his walkie-talkie. The man, named Happy, asks to join them. Jenny, dressed elegantly, welcomes him, and the three start living together happily. While camping in a forest, Happy shares that he survived after a brutal fight with a friend. Jenny reveals she was electrocuted by a hairdryer but survived. Jack admits to taking sleeping pills after a stressful office incident and waking up to find himself alone. One night, Jenny catches Happy singing at a grave and decides not to disturb him. Meanwhile, Jack observes Jenny and Happy getting close, making him jealous. Tensions rise when Jenny learns Happy killed his friend over an affair. Jack and Happy fight, but Jenny stops them at gunpoint. Later, Jack discovers radiation levels rising in his lab, making it unsafe to approach. He warns Happy and Jenny, but they dismiss his fears. Determined to save them, Jack drives a truck loaded with explosives